On today's video, let's talk about the financial well-being for Crimson Vow. I'll be showing you some of the cards I think have a future. Hi everyone and welcome back. MTG Moxman here. Guys, when we're talking about the Crimson Vow spoilers, I'm filming this as of November 2nd, 2021. And I'm not overly impressed, just like I wasn't for Midnight Hunt. These are sets that I enjoy looking at. I love the artwork. The card mechanics are okay, but there are some cards I think have a financial future, and those are the cards I'm going to focus on today. When I look at these sets right now, I think of them as sealed products that will have a good return in the future as an investment, because people will not be buying a lot of these this late in the year. So my mind flips to the availability of sealed product going forward and making money. But when I think of the single cards within that set that may be used in other formats, I have to say there's a few cards I think that I like that could have a future. So let's take a look at those cards together. The first card I want to show everyone is Inspired Idea. Now it's a rare. It is sorcery speed. It costs 1 blue, 2 other. All right, but I like it because it draws 3 cards. Now the text box will say that your hand will go down to a maximum hand size of 4. It gets shrunk by 3. That's not a good thing. But depending on what deck you're using this in, and if you use it in Commander with cards like Reliquary Tower that give you no maximum hand size, that's not going to matter. And you will draw 3 cards for 3 mana. I see a future for this card going forward. I don't think it'll be an expensive card, but I think depending on the deck you build around it, this card could have a future in some other formats. So Inspired Idea got me a little bit inspired when I saw it. I liked it. Now, when we go ahead and take a look at card number 2, now Change of Form is a 1 red, 3 colors casting cost sorcery speed spell. It states that for every card I discard, I get to draw a card. So it's very similar to a Wheel of Fortune, but your opponent gets no benefits, and it does cost 1 more mana. But depending on the deck construction you're using it in, I can see this card being used in Commander, but also being used widely in Standard right now. It's a great card that I think has a bright future, and I'll be interested to see where this card goes in the next 100 days. Remember though, for any of the cards I'm showing you right now, do not buy the pre-sale prices. Those are not the settled prices. Somebody has just decided to assign a value. And when you're looking at the financial health of a card, it cannot be determined right now. We have to see what the players do with a card like this to see if it actually has far-reaching future value. And with the amount of different editions they've put out right now, full art extended, extended foil, regular foil, you see where I'm going with this. Everyone needs to wait. These are just awesome cards that I feel have chances for a future. All right, let's go ahead and check out the next card. So the next card here is Gloom Knock the Omnivore. That's right, this legendary frog. I can't believe I'm saying that. Legendary frog. But let's get past the fact he's a frog on, like, a desert plain by himself eating somebody. Let's get over that. He's a 3/3 for 4. You can see there 1 green, 1 blue, and 2 other. He is a legendary frog, but it says whenever a frog you control attacks, mill 3 cards. I know it seems detrimental to yourself, but look at this. Whenever a permanent card is put into your graveyard from your library, exile it with a croak counter on it. Get it? Croak counter? That's funny. All right, you may play lands and cast spells from among the cards you own in exile with a croak counter on it. So you get to see a lot more of your library and you have a lot more access to cards. This is a game-changing card for a lot of Commander decks. It is going to see play in a lot of different decks as people try to find ways to break this card. It will start out initially very high in price, and I assume it'll just slowly settle back down. It's not like it's a Modern Horizons 2 card with a really pricey, tag approaching on those boxes, right? It's not attached to that box. You're going to see it in a regular standard box, so I expect the price to fall later on, but it's a great card to keep an eye on. Now, when we're taking a look at our next card, which is the Valhalla Estate, now what Vampire Tribal deck doesn't want to have this in it? Doesn't want to mix it with cards like Cavern of Souls. It pumps up your vampires. It gives you that blood token ability. I really like the Castle Dracula version of this card, but let's face it, with all the different versions out there, there will be some affordable options. But as the years go by, if this doesn't get reprinted, the financial upside of a card like this could be a lot bigger than what people realize. If this card drops down to be a 50-cent card, like the Strixhaven's, the Bibuloplex, which I still feel is a really underrated card, you're going to see a card like this start getting gobbled up by people because you're always building vampire decks. It's just one of those things a lot of players like to do, and they're going to want to have copies of this. So keep an eye on this card. I do think it has a financial future either way, just because the playability of it. And Wizards won't be prone to print this right away. They may even think this one's got to go up a little bit in value, and then we'll see what happens. Now, our next card I'm going to show you is going to be Talia. Now, she's been printed a lot. She's been reprinted. But as you can see, she's coming back again. That's right. Same card, same ability, slightly different artwork. They've added a few different things. They're trying to keep her price very affordable. They're shifting her down a bit, making her accessible for players who want to get this card. That's a good thing, but guess what? It's still a desirable card. It still has a set value. So if this forces the value down temporarily, which is what it tends to do, expect this card to drift up later on, a year and a half from now. Not right away, but if you find this card cheap, if it goes for $1 or $2, you might want to grab some copies as it slowly slips back up to that $5, $6, $7, $8 mark later on. Cards like this just seem to always drift back up, okay? Keep an eye on that card. It definitely has some value. Now, when we're taking a look at the Mana Form Kite, again, another dragon. I'm not really fond of this artwork, to be honest, but I like the ability on the card. This is a mythic on the list here. 4/4 for 4. It's flying, but I like that ability. Whenever I cast a non-creature spell, I get an XX red dragon illusion. Yeah, it disappears the next turn, but it has haste. It's coming to get you if you plan your deck well. So think about all these decks right now in Arena or even in Commander decks that are taking turns or casting instants and sorceries. You can see where I'm going with this. It starts making all kinds of mini copies, almost like the Shark Typhoon, right? Except for it's a much cheaper version of it. And you get it only till the end of turn, but they do have haste. I can see this card just brutalizing people. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, do you know how easy that is to do with the decks we have available? And imagine a constructed deck in Commander that focuses on basically casting instants and sorceries. Way to go, man. Wizards, you are abusing us, and I love that card. The last card I wanted to go over was the Wedding Ring. Okay? It's one of those interesting cards that I was thinking about ways I could already manipulate the card in a Commander game. Now, as a 2 white, 2 other casting cost spell, that's fine. It's an artifact, comes into play, you choose an opponent, the opponent gets a copy of that ring. But there's nothing saying I can't bounce this ring back and cast it again and choose a different opponent, and bounce it back and choose a different opponent. You see where I'm going with this? As long as you cast it. So you do have to bring it back to your hand. You can't like use a teleportation circle because you're not casting it anymore. But if you actually cast this card, you could be drawing a lot of cards. You could be gaining a lot of life depending on the decks you're playing against. The Wedding Ring will make for a very interesting card that I think may have financial upswing later in the future depending on how it's played and how it's received by players. I think we're looking at a fun card here. Guys, thanks a lot for tuning in today. I really hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what your best picks are, the cards you think will have a financial upswing or a great amount of playability in different formats going forward. I look forward to talking to you all soon. This is MTG Moxman. Have a great day today. And of course, a big shout out goes out to each and every one of my patrons. Guys, thanks a lot. I think I've sorted out the Patreon board for this month. Guys, if I haven't, please let me know any mistakes I've made. I'll be happy to correct them. Everyone have a great day. Patrons rock. Hey guys, welcome back. You're at the end of the video. Here you are. I know there's nothing special going on. There's nothing crazy going on in the background. I know nothing's really changed right now. But you know what? Welcome to all the new subscribers who watched this far in the video. Congratulations. For all the regular people who make it this far, you guys know what's going on. It's going to be an awesome day today. Can't help ourselves. Although it's getting a lot colder in Canada right now. I'm not really fond of that. So I think I'm going to sit down, watch Army of Darkness, shop at S-Mart, say a boomstick a little bit, and then remind myself that the Necronomicon is not real and I won't have nightmares. Guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. Have a great day today. This is MTG Moxman. I will see you guys, man. You made it to the end. Congratulations. I think I'm going to have a salad. I feel like a salad.